Amazing audience, we are live with Chrystal Rae.
Hi Angel, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It sounded as though you were going to say I'm blessed and you combined words.
I did.
It sounded like that. Are you good?
I'm good. I'm
That's
very
wonderful.
good. And I am blessed, thank you.
I love that.
Thank
Which
you.
of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
So a lot of things have come together. I think the pleasure of meeting you, obviously very nice. But my life mission is to spread a message that was given to me when I had a near-death experience, which some years ago, over 20 years now. But after being hit by a car and thrown off a cliff and flipping 10 times and having a near-death experience, one of the most important messages that I bring back with me and that I spread, I have yoga studios here, 3 of them, Gaia Flow Yoga, and I'm an artist. I do big abstract paintings and a writer. I'm writing a couple books on love. So the message that I'm bringing back is that each soul is here for the bliss of its own existence, and that means you, right here, right now, in this time, in this space, exactly as it is without changing anything. And one of the things that I was shown is that at this time on the planet, there's a really important calling for people to remember the truth of their soul. And you know, you can kind of put it into lots of different religious contexts, but above and beyond all of there's this energy of love. And love, what I mean by that, the best definition I've ever found for love is by Ramana Maharishi, which is an Indian sage, cool guy that lived in the cave after he himself had a near-death experience. He was actually dead for 45 minutes. And what he realized as he was floating above his body is that if my body's there and I'm here, the body is dead, then who am I? And miraculously, of course, he came back to life, and he spent the rest of his life in service of this question of who am I? And when he was asked by one of his disciples, you know, Master, what is love? And he said, love is the pure light of undifferentiated consciousness. And to put that into like modern language or more user-friendly language, what that means is that love is everything. It's the container that contains all things, both dark and light, good and bad, up and down, sideways, you know, underneath, everywhere. Everything is contained in this scope of love, or pure light that has no opposite. So it's kind of hard to phantom something that has no opposite. But everything that has opposite is contained with this. And this is our lives. And so we come to this planet to learn to love, to learn to not push and pull against the reality of our life. And you know, one of the things I was teaching this morning when I was teaching my yoga class is this idea of kind of do parentheses from no thing. So when you come from a place that's pure bliss with no opposites, there's no thing there. And when you come from this place of pure love, then your heart is open, your life is open. You meet everybody without a story. And so, you know, most of the time you'll see your wife or you see your children or you see this person in front of you, you make this immediate idea of who this is. And so you have it's not a clean slate. But when you move from love that has no opposites, it's just the presence, meeting another presence, a pure energy, meeting another pure energy. And together, in like attracts like, you ask, why am I here? Well, there has to be something inside of me that resonates with something inside of you for us to even be in the same space together. And my suspicion is that you're a light worker and you're doing good work on the planet, and that's why we're sitting here together talking about this most important thing, because in the modern world, social media, computers, fast, you know, everything is, we learn how to scan. We have more information in one day than our ancestors had in 75 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So we scan everything. And so there's this superficial existence, you know. People have these cliche sayings like, how are you? I'm fine, nice to meet you. And it's all very superficial, and it comes from a place of automatic, like a rote behavior. So what happens is that we start to scan ourselves away as well. You know, we don't. I remember at one point in my life, someone asked me, "How are you?" And I actually thought about it, like, "How am I?" And at this point in my life, I was getting a divorce, I had 2 small children, everything was falling apart. So I was like, oh, would you like to know how I am? And this poor woman, she was like, oh, okay.
That's a bit too much.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah,
I was at the gym, as a matter of fact. And so, but she was one of those divine souls that you meet in your life, and I'll never forget her. Because what she said to me, she said, Chrystal, divine order is always at work in your life, and all is well. You know what, Angel? I went home, I wrote it on my bathroom mirror. And that was like my mantra, and that really took me into this direction of where I am now, with spreading this message of love is all that matters. It's all that is. It's why we're here. Everything else is dust. Everything else is superficial. And this is my life mission. So yes, I have yoga studios, and I pass my message on through the studios. We say love is why. That's our mantra at our studios. Also my books and my teaching and my presence is to spread this message. And interesting for me to be the one spreading the message, because I came from a pretty dysfunctional background. My mom drank a lot, my dad left, there was 3 children, blah, blah, blah. All of that's kind of irrelevant. What is important is that I didn't really feel worthy. I didn't feel I was good enough ever. I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't this enough, I wasn't that enough. And so to come to this place of like, you're completely loved, even if you're broken, even if you're not perfect, even with the shadow side, even with the brilliant side, even with the joy, even with the sorrow. It's quite healing and quite a gift that I can offer. And so no one can look at me and say, yeah, well, you've had this, sweet little life, that's why you're all lovey-dovey. No, I've had the dark night of the soul. I have been, curled up in a ball in the middle of my bed and feeling completely like the end of the world is here. On another occasion, I remember when I was getting divorced, my former husband brought the papers over, and I signed them, and I just said, give me whatever, I don't care. I want the children, let's be friends, I'm not cutting the couch in half, forget it. So he was very happy. But when he left, it was like the darkest day of my life, because I know you guys love each other. When I deeply love this man, still do, always will. I know that was the right thing to do to separate, but as I was sitting there in this darkest moment, what I realized is I started to think he already had another girlfriend. And I said, I hope she's good to him.
Wow.
I hope she loves him, and I hope he's happy. Because I really love him. And that was like, whoa, this is unconditional love. He never knew about this, but that's the most beautiful gift anyone has ever given me. In that moment, it was like the sun burst through the clouds. Like I recognized, not only is it possible to love my children unconditionally and someone who's also loving me reciprocally, but also to love someone who's really been a source of great pain, and perhaps I was for him too. I'm not saying it's all him, of course, but this unconditional love, it changes you. It changes your cellular structure, it changes your emotional body, your spiritual body, and your physical body. That's my message, that's my journey, and that's why I'm sitting here.
That's wonderful. Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Oh my. Let me invite you now, my friend, into my time machine, yeah?
Okay.
It's surrounded by beautiful, warm blue Caribbean water. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Sitting at the edge of the ocean and building sandcastles and just being part of the scenery rather than looking at it.
How old were you?
I would say I was about probably 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
Because I really feel like nature is an integral part of bringing you back to God, or back to truth, back to love. And I know for me, in the moments that I've been in nature, is when I feel the most connection. Even when I do my silent retreats, which I do these Vipassana retreats outside of the city, I get into nature. It's just a silent retreat of 10 days with no speaking and no...
wow.
It's just...
So where was this beach though?
Oh, this beach. Well, it's my earliest childhood memory would have to be in California, because I was living in California. But my favorite beach, by the way...
Is it in the Caribbean?
Yes. Yes.
So how do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
As I said earlier, I think that there is a great connection of all things in oneness. So nature is intricate. Nature, beauty, art have the ability to take you and connect you where you become where the observer becomes part of that which is being observed.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the idea of the sandcastle being built, but I also love the connection of the understanding of the compartments with love. Because the sea does take it back at some point in time.
Love that.
And then you have an opportunity to build again. And it's so much of having but still understanding you do not have.
Right.
And I think love surrounds that concept.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that. It's a great interpretation.
It's beautiful to see that as a child you were in that.
Yeah. I'm not sure that I saw that as a child, but
Of course not. As a child,
Yeah.
you're just building the castle, right? Come on.
But I know that I experienced it for sure. I experienced that feeling of oneness. I call it oneness, where you're just one with all things.
Yeah.
And of course, in what you're talking about, this ebb and flow, the tide of life, everything, even this body, you will give it back.
Exactly. It
Nothing
goes
belongs
back,
to you.
yeah.
The one thing that we have, the one thing that we take with us, the one thing that we leave here is love.
Yeah. So I'm glad that connected. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
You know, truthfully, Angel, when I was 12, I had an alcoholic mother, and I had a very challenging childhood.
You didn't touch music
I
that
didn't
much.
have a lot of time for music. I was busy being an adult.
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens. I've had individuals on who had similar situations as well when they travel. Like if
Right.
they move from one country to
And that
another.
was the other thing. My mom, we were in the service. My dad was an Air Force pilot.
Yeah.
And then my stepfather was in the Army. So first we were in California, Okinawa, El Paso. Ooh,
Yeah,
El
so
Paso.
it's very challenging to.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's leave that there. All right. We've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more, right?
Okay.
We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
I think so.
Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
To pass on my skills to.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you married?
Huh?
Are you married?
No, I'm
Do
not.
you have children?
I do have
Do you
children.
believe in God?
Do I believe? Of course.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a
No, I
day?
don't.
How about 3 hours a week?
No,
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
less than.
If you had to share with us your own unique, real statement, a statement that represents Chrystal Rae, what would you say that is?
I would say love is all that matters.
I think so. And please understand that the sea takes it as much as it brings it.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yes.
Chrystal Rae, thank you for being
It's a
on
pleasure, Angel.
What is
You're
Inspired.
lovely.
Thank you. By
Thank you for having
12-minute
me.
convos with
All
Angel
right.
Jones. Did you have fun?
Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I did. It was fun.
High five me. Boom.
Boom.